The Universal Human Rights Index, UHRI, is designed to facilitate access to human rights recommendations issued by three key pillars of the United Nations human rights protection system. These are the treaty bodies established under the international human rights treaties, the special procedures, and finally, the Universal Periodic Review of the Human Rights Council, also known as UPR. The UHRI aims at assisting states in the implementation of these recommendations for their compliance and at facilitating their work of national stakeholders such as national human rights institutions, non-governmental organizations, civil societies, and academics, as well as other parties.
Upon accessing, you will find three search options: either summary by country, basic search, and advanced search. The summary by country allows the user to produce an overview of the output of all the human rights mechanisms as they relate to the specific countries or how the recommendations relate to the Sustainable Development Goals or to the Human Rights Voluntary Goals. In this section, the user may enter one or more countries at the same time and save the selected entry for future searches, as well as to erase by clicking on the corresponding option. The basic search page allows the user to do a very simple search, either by state, by theme, by human rights mechanisms, or by the affected persons. Single or multiple entries are possible, and they may be removed by clicking on the cross next to the selection. The results appear after pressing Apply Filters. The original document can be accessed through the hyperlinked document code in the search results. The advanced search page allows for a more in-depth search through adding categories and the possibility for multiple entries by adding several filters. The text search can include single or multiple words or phrases, such as poverty or housing, for example. The original document can be accessed through the hyperlinked document in the search results. The search by symbol refers to the document number indicated in the top right corner of any given UN document. The user can also select the time period for which this search should be run. Also, the user can further narrow down a search by including either a region, a country, a theme, or including the affected person. One can also filter searches by Sustainable Development Goals or the Human Rights Voluntary Goals. In the filter by body, the user can choose which of the international human rights mechanisms should be taken into account in the search, being either the treaty bodies, the special procedures, or the UPR. The section on UPR recommendations allows for filtering by specific recommendations made by respective states, as well as the specific outcome or position of the state under review, which is classified either by supported or noted. When the state supports or takes note of a recommendation or even part of a recommendation, the position is known as supported, and these recommendations are then included when using either filter. Lastly, the document search allows the user to search the original documents that are entered and indexed in the UHRI.
All governments have some sort of interministerial coordination structures or processes to engage with the Universal Periodic Review, special procedures and treaty bodies. An increasing number are now institutionalizing these structures and processes into what we call national mechanisms for reporting and follow-up. They seek to enhance coordination among different ministries and with the National Statistics Office. They seek to strengthen consultation with different stakeholders, the independent national human rights institution and civil society. And they want to improve on their capacity to manage information, to collect data and to track implementation of recommendations addressed to them. The Universal Human Rights Index aims at facilitating this work.
The Universal Human Rights Index allows a wide dissemination of the work of the United Nations human rights system by enabling a broad audience to get easy access to recommendations and observations on specific human rights issues addressed to states. This is a major contribution to the implementation efforts of the national level. States and other stakeholders can align recommendations from the Universal Periodic Review and special procedures and treaty bodies, cluster them by country, thematic issues, groups of persons affected, and by sustainable development goals. Thus, it assists states in adopting a coordinated approach to implement and follow up on these recommendations.
The Universal Human Rights Index was conceived to facilitate access to all human rights recommendations by state, issued by the treaty bodies, the special procedures, and finally, the Universal Periodic Review. Our goal is for the UHRI to become a useful and practical tool so that everyone can become familiar with the recommendation of the mechanisms and monitor their implementation. We invite you to join and take advantage of all the resources that the UHRI has to offer.